case number 132 of 2026, Uganda versus Christopher Okello Onyum.
Yes, state.
If it pleases my Lord, appearance for the prosecution. My name is Jonathan Mwaganya. I jointly appear with Miss Anna Kiza. We both chief state attorneys. Our colleagues on watching brief are Mr. Stanley Okello, Mr. Pius Katumba Busobozi, and Mr. Roger Mugabi. My Lord, accused is in court, and Ms. Sarah Awero and Mr. Richard Kumbuga represent him. The three assessors are also in court. My Lord, the matter is for judgment and we are ready to receive it.
Good morning once again. Okay, this judgment relates to a criminal hearing conducted at a mobile court convened at the Gaba Community Church grounds located at Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District. In accordance with the Constitution, Operation of Mobile Courts Practice Directions 2026, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Uganda appointed me to operate the mobile court by an instrument of appointment dated 9th April 2026.
Eno judgment wechipo mulamuzi jagenda okusoma eva ku kooti ng'ebadde etuula ku Gaba Community Church ng'esangibwa Gaba mu Makindye Division mu Kampala District ate waliwo ekiragiro ekiva mu Constitution Mobile Court Guidelines ekya 2026 nga Saabalamuzi yamuwa ekiwandiiko ekimulagira okuwira omusango guno yakiwandiika nga 9 Ogwokuna 2026.
Okay. The accused person is indicted on 4 counts of murder contrary to sections 171 and 172 of the Penal Code Act, Chapter 128.
Omuwawaabirwa bamuvunaana emisango 4 ate nga gyonna gya butemu nga kimenya amateeka mu kiragiro ky'ebibonerezo akawayiro 171 ne 172.
In count 1, murder contrary to sections 171 and 172, it is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum, on the 2nd day of April 2026, at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought, unlawfully caused the death of Eteku Gideon.
Omusango ogusooka bamuvunaana omusango gw'obutemu nga kigambirwa nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 Ogwokuna 2026 eGaba Early Childhood Development Center ng'esangibwa Gaba, Christopher Okello Onyum yatta Eteku Gideon.
Count 2, murder contrary to sections 171 and 172 of the Penal Code Act. It is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum, on the 2nd day of April 2026, at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought, unlawfully caused the death of Keisha Agenoroth Otim.
Omusango gw'okubiri nagwo gwa butemu nga kigambirwa nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 Ogwokuna 2026 Gaba Early Childhood Center ng'esangibwa Gaba Makindye Division, Kampala District, Christopher Okello Onyum yatta Keisha Agenworth Otim.
In count 3, it is also murder contrary to sections 171 and 172 of the Penal Code Act, Cap 128, and it is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum, on the 2nd day of April 2026 at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought, unlawfully caused the death of Seryange Ignatius.
Omusango gw'okusatu nagwo gwa butemu nga kigambirwa nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 Ogwokuna 2026 eGaba Early Childhood Development Center, Christopher Okello Onyum nga alina ekigendererwa yatta Seryange Ignatius.
And count 4, murder contrary to sections 171 and 172 of the Penal Code Act. It is alleged that Christopher Okello Onyum, on the 2nd day of April 2026 at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District, with malice aforethought, unlawfully caused the death of Odeke Ryan.
Omusango gw'okuna nagwo gwa butemu nga kigambirwa nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 Ogwokuna 2026 ku Gaba Early Childhood Development Center esangibwa Gaba Makindye Division mu Kampala, Christopher Okello Onyum nga alina ekigendererwa yatta Odeke Ryan.
And when this matter came up, the prosecution was represented by Mr. Jonathan Muwaganya and Ms. Anna Kiza, both chief state attorneys for the Director of Public Prosecutions, while the accused person was represented by Mr. Kumbuga Richard and Ms. Awelo Sarah on state brief. And on watching brief, we had, on behalf of the families of the deceased children, we had Mr. Stanley Okello, Mr. Roger Mugabe, and Mr. Pius Katumba Busobozi from James Advocates. And I note that both counsel for the accused person and the prosecution made oral submissions citing court decisions which I have considered and relied upon in this judgment.
Ng'omusango gutandika oludda olwabi lwaleeta omuwabi wa gavumenti gwe bayita Muwaganya Jonathan ne Anna Kiza, ate oludda lw'omuwabirwa waliwo Kumbuga Richard ne Sarah Awero ng'abo gavumenti yabawa omuwabirwa ate nga waliwo balooya bajja olwa families z'abaana abaafa. Asooka waliwo Stanley, owokubiri Roger Mugabi, owokusatu Pius Katumba. Ate nti oluvannyuma lw'okuwulira obujulizi balooya enjuyi zonna baawumbawumba obujulizi ne boogera ne ku mateeka ge bagenderako ate kooti ebutunuulidde.
From the facts of the case as laid before this court, this is what I find to be the prosecution case. That the deceased persons, namely Eteku Gideon, aged 2 years and 6 months, Keisha Agenoroth Otim, aged 1 year and 11 months, Ignitia Selyange, aged 2 years and 4 months, and Odeke Ryan, aged 1 year and 3 months, were under the care of Gaba Early Childhood Development Center. And in this case, I will keep referring to it as the center. It is a daycare facility under the management of Gaba Community Church at Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District. And Gaba Early Childhood Development Project is run by Gaba Community Church and operated at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, located at Gaba Trading Zone, Gaba Parish, Makindye Division, Kampala District.
Oludda olwabi lwaleeta obujulizi okulaga nti abaana bano abana asooka Eteku yali wa myaka 2 n'emyezi 6, owokubiri Keisha yali wa mwaka 1 n'emyezi 11, owokusatu Seryange yali wa myaka 2 n'emyezi 4, asembayo Odeke Ryan yali wa mwaka 1 n'emyezi 3, nga bonna baali mu ssomero lya Gaba Childhood Development Center, ate ajja kusigala ng'agisoma nga center, ate nga essomero lino liri wansi wa church eya Gaba Community Church nga lisangibwa Gaba mu Makindye Division, Kampala District.
Keisha Agenoroth Otim was female, while the 3 deceased persons were male. The other 3 were male. And the center was founded by Gaba Community Church and operates a daycare and an early childhood program for the vulnerable and malnourished children who are identified from the community. The children under the daycare program pay some money, while those ones, the vulnerable, do not pay. Ignitia Seryange, Gideon Eteku were among the vulnerables, while Odeke Ryan and Keisha Agenroth Otim were under the daycare program.
Nti Keisha yali mwana muwala, abalala baali balenzi, nga bonna essomero lino lyali wansi wa church eya Gaba Community Church, ate nga baali balina daycare ate n'okukuumirawo abaana abaali batalina mwasirizo, nga babajjanga mu bantu ne babalabirira, ate nga bagamba baali mu daycare baali basasula, ate be bajjanga mu bantu nga tebasasula.
Christopher Okello Onyum, who I will keep referring to as the accused person going forward, is a male adult, an American citizen by nationality and a Ugandan by birth. He holds 2 American passports, and those passports were admitted in court as exhibits.
Omuwawaabirwa bamuyita Christopher Okello Onyum, era tujja kusigala nga tumuyita muwawaabirwa, nga musajja mukuru mutuuze wa America naye nga bamuzalira mu Uganda, alina passport 2 nga za America ate zonna bazireeta mu buzibiti.
On 31st March 2026, the accused person hired a motor vehicle RAV4 for self-drive. On Wednesday, 1st April 2026, the accused person drove from Namgela Cross, Chanja, where he was residing, to the center, where he met one of the caretakers, Miss Phoebe Namtevi, who testified as PW6.
Nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 31 ogwokusatu 2026, muwawaabirwa yapangisa emmotoka kika kya RAV4 ng'agenda gyevugira, era nga lumu ogwokuna 2026 yavuga okuva Namugera Cross Ekyanja gye yali abeera n'atuuka ku ssomero eryo erya center n'asinkana omukyala gwe bayita Phoebe.
and she testified as the prosecution witness number 6.
ate yajja n'awa obujulizi ng'omujulizi w'omukaaga ku lw'oludda olwabi.
The accused person remained outside the gate, and Miss Namtebi went to the gate to find out whether he needed help, and the accused person informed her that he had a child aged 3 years and required an admission for her. He asked for the requirements, was informed, and promised to go and prepare to return and make the necessary payments.
Nti yasigala wabweru wa geeti okutuusa Phoebe lwe yagenda n'amubuuza oba asobola okumuyamba. Bwe yamubuuza n'amuddamu nti yali alina omwana w'emyaka 3 yali ayagala kumuyingiza essomero era n'amubuulira biki byali byetaagisa kwe kugamba nti agenda yeetegeke akomewo.
The next day, the 2nd of April 2026, at about 11 a.m., the accused person returned to the center, and when Namtebi saw him, she went to the gate, and the accused person informed her that he had returned to make the payments as he had promised the previous day. PW6 opened the gate for the accused person and brought him to the office of the coordinator of the center, known as Miss Annette Odong Agoye, who testified as PW7.
Nti nga 2 ogw'omusanvu 2 ogwokuna 2026 ssaawa nga 5 ez'okumakya omuwaabirwa yakomawo n'atuuka ku geeti. Phoebe n'amulaba, bwe yamulaba n'amugamba nti yali aze kusasula era n'amugulirawo geeti n'amutwala mu ofiisi yali akulira ssente eyo gwe bayita Annette Adong era yajja wano okuwa obujulizi ng'omujulizi w'omusanvu ku lw'oludda olwabi.
Miss Namtebi introduced the accused to Miss Annette and informed her of their encounter and conversation the previous day. Miss Odong welcomed him and also interviewed him pertaining to the details of the child to be enrolled. The accused person inquired about the requirements, and he was informed that he needed to pay a total of Uganda shillings 190,000, which would cover the registration, daycare fees, and uniform.
Nti Phoebe yayanjulira omuwaabirwa n'amuwanjulira Annette n'amugamba nti baali boogedde ejjo era oli n'amwaniriza n'amubuuza ebikwata ku mwana gwe yali aleeta era n'amala n'amubuulira biki byali byetaagisa n'amugamba nti yali alina okusasula emitwalo 19 nga giriko egy'okumuwandiisa omwana kuliko ejja daycare n'eza uniform.
The accused person, who said he had no cash on him, asked whether he could pay using mobile money, and he did so on the telephone number of Miss Annette.
Nti yagamba yali tatambudde na ssente nkalu n'asaba nti ssente aziteeke ku mobile money era n'aziteeka ku mobile money ya Annette.
PW7, that is Annette, asked PW6 to issue the accused person with a receipt, and the same was issued to him, and it was receipt number 2958 in the name of Zuriel Onyum.
Nti Annette kwe kusaba Phoebe nti amuwandiikire risiiti era n'awandiika risiiti nga yali mu mannya ga Zuriel Onyum.
The accused then left the office promising to return with the child and the mother on Tuesday the following week, and I take notice that this was the week of Easter and the next working day was Tuesday of the following week.
Nti era yavaawo n'abasuubiza nti agenda kujja n'omwana ne maama w'omwana wiiki eddako olwokubiri era ow'ekitiibwa omulamuzi alabye nti eyo yali wiiki ya Easter n'olwekyo olunaku olulala lw'okukola lwali lwakubiri.
The accused person then walked out heading towards the gate as Miss Namtebi, who was still in the office of Miss Annette, bent down to keep the receipt booklet in the drawer.
Era yatambula ng'adda ku geeti Namtebi yali asigadde mu ofiisi ng'akyateeka receipt mu drawer.
At that time, some children were in the compound playing, and as Miss Namtebi rose up to look towards the gate so as to go and open for the accused person to exit the center, she saw the accused person bending while holding a child, and she thought that he was beating the child. She ran outside to establish why he was beating the child, only to reach there and find that the accused person, who was holding a knife, had already cut the neck of one child, and this child was Keisha.
nti bwe yabadde afuluma abaana abamu baali wabweru nga bazannya nti era Phoebe bwe yagenda okusituka ng'agamba agenda aggulewo geeti omuwawabirwa afulume n'atunulira mu ddinisa n'alaba ng'omuwawabirwa akutamye ng'akuta omwana n'asooka n'alowooza nti oli yali akuba omwana n'adduka kumubuuza lwaki yali akuba omwana n'asanga nga yali alina akambe ng'amaze okusala Keisha.
And she was lying in a pool of blood, and the accused person at that time was reaching out for another child.
Yali mu kitaba ky'omusaayi ate omuwawabirwa yali agenda ku mwana omulala.
Miss Phoebe asked the accused person why he was cutting the children, and she also threw one of the children's bicycles, which were in the compound, at him to scare him off. The accused person left the child and ran after her, threatening to cut her as well.
Nti Phoebe bwe yamubuuza lwaki yali asala abaana n'amukanyugira n'akagaali abaana ke bali bazanyisa n'asooka n'akaleka n'adduka n'amugoba n'adduka.
Miss Phoebe ran away from the accused person while making an alarm, but she fell down, and the accused person ran back to the children very fast. And by the time Miss Phoebe returned to prevent or stop him from cutting the children, she found when he had cut the second child, and she again threw a bicycle at him as he was pursuing the third child.
Nti bwe yamugoba oli n'adduka ng'akuba emiranga oluvannyuma n'agwa. Bwe yamala okugwa ono n'addayo mangu n'adda ku baana n'akwata omwana owokubiri n'amusala.
The accused person again ran after Miss Phoebe, and when she fell down, he drew the knife, threatening to cut her as well.
Nti era n'amukanyugira akabugala akalala bwe yakamuganyugira oli n'addamu n'amugoba n'adduka era yagenda okulaba ng'akuta omwana omulala.
The accused person then left Miss Phoebe and went back to the children, and when she rose up, she found him cutting the last child, and the last child to be cut was Odeke Ryan.
Nti era yamala n'amuleka oli bwe yagwa n'agenda okusituka n'asanga ng'asaza omwana owasembayo ate yali asembayo baali bamuyita Odeke Ryan.
At that time, Miss Annette, who also witnessed the cutting of some of the children together with other caretakers, were making alarms which attracted one Cyrus Kenya, who arrested the accused person. He was joined by Moses, the security guard, Bashir, and Timothy. When he was being arrested, the accused person threw the knife over the chain link fence. The accused was immediately locked up in the guardhouse at the gate to keep him away from the angry crowd which had formed at that time. And upon his arrest, the accused person was found with 2 new knives in his socks, and they were recovered from him.
Nti Annette naye yali alabye nga asala abaana abamu ne keyateeka omulala eyaliwo baakuba enduulu era bwe baakuba enduulu Cyrus Bukenya, Moses eyali omukuumi, Bashiru ne Timothy bajja. Bwe baamala okujja oli n'abalaba n'asuula akambe n'akasuula wabweru wa geeti era ne bamukwata ne bamugalira mu kayumba ak'omukuumi nga bamutaasa abantu abaali batandise okujja. Era bwe bamukwata ne basanga nga yali alina obwambe bubiri bupya mu stockings ze.
3 of the attacked children, namely Eteku Gideon, Kisha Agenrotho Tim, and Ignitia Seryange, were rushed to Wenzi Medical Center, which is about 300 meters away from the center, hoping to save their lives. However, they were pronounced dead on arrival.
Abaana abasatu Eteku, Keisha ne Seryange babatwala ku ddwaliro lya Wenzi Medical Center nga balowooza bayinza okubataasa naye bwe baatuuka ne bagamba nti bali bafudde.
Ryan Odeke, who was clearly dead, was left at the veranda but was also later taken to Wenzi Medical Center by police.
Ryan Odeke eyali asigadde naye nga yali afudde baali bamulese ku kabalaza naye oluvannyuma naye bamutwala ku ddwaliro lya Wenzi.
The dead bodies of the 4 children were then taken to Mulago, Kampala, capital city mortuary by police, and post-mortem examinations were done on them by Dr. Katongole Abdul, who described the injuries on all the bodies of the 4 children to have been on the necks, and concluded that the cause of death for the 4 children was hypovolemic shock due to deep cut wounds deep cut injuries to the neck.
Nti emirambo gino oluvannyuma bagitwala e Mulago mu ggwanika era omusawo gwe bayita Akatongole n'akebera emirambo n'annyonnyola nti bonna baali balina obuvunne mu bulago ate n'agamba nti ekyabaviirako okufa babafumita nnyo ne bavaamu omusaayi mungi.
The police officers from Kabalagala Divisional Police visited the center, which they termed as the primary scene of crime, and recovered the killer knife and the two other knives and a backpack which was also recovered on the accused person, picked some suspected blood from the compound, among others.
Nti abasirikale ba poliisi e Kabalagala bagenda mu kifo ekyo we batira abaana ne bajjayo obwambe bwe basangawo ne bajjayo n'ensawo omuwawaabirwa gye yali alina era ne batwalako n'omusaayi gwali mu luggya.
The samples recovered were subjected to DNA analysis and the report was admitted in evidence.
Nti omusaayi ogwo bagutwala ne bagukebera era ebyava mu kukebera babireeta ng'obujulizi.
The police officers also removed the accused person from the guardhouse at the center amidst the angry crowd which desired to lynch him, and they took him to Kabalagala police station.
Omuwawaabirwa bamujja mu kayumba k'omukuumi era ne bamukuuma abantu abaali batuusawo nga bagala kumutta ne bamutwala ku poliisi e Kabalagala.
On 3rd April 2026, the accused person led the investigating team to his house, which he had rented in Chanja at Namugera Close, Katumba Zone. A search was conducted in the accused's house, and a number of items were recovered, which included electronic devices, 2 laptops, 2 mobile phones, and 3 hard drives, which were subjected to forensic analysis, and a digital analysis report was also admitted as evidence.
Nga 3 Ogwokuna 2026 omuwawaabirwa yakulemberamu abali banoonyereza omusango guno n'abatwala mu nnyumba ye gye yali apangisa e Chanja era bwe bayingira ennyumba ne bajjaaza bajjamu ebintu nga laptop 2, amasimu n'ebintu ebirala.
The other items recovered were 2 American passports, a driver's license from the state of Virginia, a sanity report dated 30th December 2025, and 5 new knives, among others.
Nti ebintu ebirala bye bajjamu passports 2 eza America, bajjamu permit oba driving permit, ne bajjamu obwambe 5, ne bajjamu ne report gye bali bamuwandiikidde okuva mu ddwaliro nga bagamba omutwe gwe gwali gukola bulungi.
The accused was examined on police form 24 by Dr. Emmanuel Nwamanya, who testified as PW11, and he was found to be mentally normal. It was upon that background that the accused was indicted for murder in 4 counts, hence this case.
Nti omuwawaabirwa bamutwala ne bamukebera ate yamukebera yali musawo gwe bayita Emmanuel Nwamanya era yajjanga omujulizi w'oludda olwabi ow'okumi oluvannyuma ne bamuteekako emisango 4 gya butemu.
Okay. The accused person gave an unsworn statement and called 2 witnesses in his defense. He had mentioned 4 witnesses but provided only the telephone numbers but without any physical address. Only 2 witnesses were reached using the telephone numbers provided by the accused person, and efforts to trace the 2 were futile because the phone numbers were not on.
Nti omuwawaabirwa yayogera nga talayidde era n'aleeta abajulizi 2, yali asabye okuleeta abajulizi 4 naye nga tataddeeko wa gye bali babeera n'ateekako amasimu gaabwe gokka. Okukuba amasimu 2 be basobola okujja, 2 amasimu gaabwe gali tegaliiko.
It is important to note here that one of the 2 numbers that he had provided that could not be reached was an American number.
Naye tulina okumanya nti mu masimu 2 emu yali ya America.
In his defense, the accused person did not deny killing the 4 children, but stated that he did not act intentionally or deliberately.
Mu kwewozaako teyagaana nti omusango teyagukola, wabula yagamba nti teyagukola mu bugenderere.
He stated that although there were claims that he was completely mentally okay, there may have been other mental challenges that may have gone undetected and could have contributed to the death of the children.
Agamba nti wadde bagamba nti omutwe gwe gwali gukola bulungi naye wayinza okubaawo ebintu ebirala bye bataalaba okulaga nti biyinza okuba nga bye byamuviirako okutta abaana abo.
He said he was not mentally okay, and he also denied being foul-minded in the killing of the children.
Agamba nti omutwe gwe gwali tegukola bulungi era agamba nti si ye yeeyagalira okutta abaana bano.
In respect to this, he referred to the book about war, which was part of the evidence of PW 18.